Three Montreal Canadiens are close to getting 300 points. We'll tell you which ones are going to get there and which ones might struggle today on Locked On Canadiens.
You are Locked On Canadiens, your daily podcast on the Montreal Canadiens. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Locked On Canadiens. Thank you for making us your first listen of the day, for subscribing wherever you get your podcasting. That supports us here on the show and ensures you don't miss an episode. And it might end up gifting you some free stuff. More on that later. And thank you for making us here at Locked On Canadiens, or at Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network. We do love saying that. My name is Ian Boisvert, also known as that Maybe Dean. I'm joined by apparent Robert's brother, Laura Saba, also known as the Active Stick. Laura, what's the deal with that?
I am going to be hanging out with the Roberts brothers this weekend, and I have decided that I'm an honorary Roberts brother. They're calling me the Cassidy Gray to their Seth Jarvis friend group, but I've decided I want to be a Roberts brother.
Yes, I'm glad you get to hang out with some Hall of Fame listeners of ours. There's so many people we name on this show just as like they're members of the show themselves. The Roberts brothers are right up there. Yeah. Please purchase them an adult beverage on my behalf. I would be honored to do that for them. Hey, we've got a lot to cover on today's episode of the show because it's our mailbag episode. We love doing the mailbag. You guys did not disappoint. You never do. We've got a lot to jump into. We're going to talk about some milestones. We'll talk about the Jacques Beauchamp early predictions for that trophy. There's lots of stuff to get into. Let's start with some of those milestones. Let me see who had sent this one in. I have to find it. Why did I do this to myself?
I want to say, is it Brent? Is it possible that it's Brent?
Wow, this is really brutal stuff from me here. No, it was a Roberts brother who did this. And actually, there's a bit of a mea culpa from me on this one. Hi, Laura, Ian, and Roberts Bros. With this weekend being the 30th anniversary celebration at the Bell Center, I was wondering if there are any big milestones coming up other than Cole being 3 goals away from 40 with 5 more Saturdays to play. P.S. Ian, I won't give you too much flack for missing me on the D'Agostini trivia question. You should have given me flack for it. You have way more grace than I could imagine. Apologies for missing you in that one. There are some milestones that I picked out here. They're more career milestones than just season milestones. Let's go over them. I mentioned off the top there are a few Canadians that are close to 300 points. One of them is Mike Matheson. He's very, very close, 298 points. That seems like he's going to get there, no?
Yeah.
He might do it by the time this weekend is over, if we're being honest with ourselves.
There are 2 games, so
there's 2 games. He could pick up 2 points easily. Cole Caufield, who didn't play against Ottawa, we imagine he's sick. Apparently, there's a bug going through the team. He is at 283 points, so he needs 17 more points to make it. I think that's fairly likely, given the rate that he is scoring, the role that he's in on this team. Do you think he gets there?
Yeah, it's Saturday night.
He might get there. Yeah, Kyle Roberts says he's got 5 Saturdays left. I think he's going to need 3 of them to get there, honestly. I think by that point, he's in. Noah Dobson is at 272 points, so he needs 28 to get there in the final fewer than 20 games left. That seems rather unlikely.
No.
But it does seem like early next season, we'll be talking about 300-point Noah Dobson.
Yes.
And then Brendan Gallagher is at 484 points. So he's 16 away from getting to 500.
Yes.
He'd basically need to be a point per game player the rest of the way. I don't see it. What about you?
We also just heard, this is coming from Mitch Gallo, that he's hearing that Brendan Gallagher will get some nights off for the rest of the season. So we don't know if that's actually the plan or what rate that's going to be at. But I think it's unlikely that he hits it. But it's also, he has to play every game this season and next season to hit 1,000 games. I feel like we're seeing Brendan Gallagher is going to get an extension next year is what I'm seeing. But I don't think he's going to hit the 500 yet. But, he can always try.
Yeah. I'm sort of, I know Marty has a tough job and he wants to keep getting Texier into the lineup and he doesn't want to take guys like Bolduc out of the lineup. That fourth line has been one of their better lines over the last week, man.
Like maybe they try it once and then it doesn't work and they don't do it again. And again, this is just what Mitch Gallo heard. We don't know who he heard it from.
Sure. Yeah. I'm reacting to the concept of it. The concept of it on its surface makes sense. But I also I thought Gallagher against Ottawa was great.
Yeah.
I
And
thought he
against
played really
Toronto
well.
too.
Yep, against Toronto too. That line has been effective. And I'm sort of how when you want to be right about something and you're kind of hoping things go wrong when they switch it so you can go, I told you so. That's sort of where I'm at right now with that. Like everyone has been really critical of that line and those players, despite the fact that they're playing fine. I think they're just older guys, and everyone on this team is just like shiny new toy syndrome. And it's like I want to see Demidov do fun stuff. He can't play 40 minutes a night. You have to have lines that can do that sort of thing. I'm glad the Canadiens are making that choice, but it is somewhat odd for that to be happening now.
Yeah.
Let's head to our buddy Jay Schwarzer, who says, "Hi, happy Friday, Laura and Ian. Just a thought on Alex Carrier. Could he be having some struggles this season because he hasn't had a consistent partner at any point? Struble slotting in on Wednesday seemed really strange after the Carrier-Xhekaj pairing looked quite good on Tuesday. And then Carrier had a tough game against the Sens as a result. In my opinion, I'd like to see Carrier play down the stretch primarily with either Struble or ideally Xhekaj so he can develop a rhythm with someone. At the same time, this would allow one of those young guys to find their game, right? Where are you at?"
I agree. We talked about it in our group chat that it is kind of cruel to have to keep switching partners on Alex Carrier. It is that's his job, right? Like it's hockey. You're going to switch up, you're going to line blend, you're going to change pairings and all of that if things aren't working. But the question that I have is when it worked so well with Arbor Xhekaj in one game, why are you still sticking to the I'm going to alternate them, right? Like this is not like you're not spreading it like peanut butter, right? This is like it's a meritocracy.
Sure.
And Arbor Xhekaj played so well against Toronto.
Yeah, and that's why I was confused. He played well, they won. Coaches hate changing winning lineups. They don't want to do it. They want to reward the guys for playing. So part of me wonders if this illness that Caufield has is truly like going through the room and maybe Xhekaj wasn't able to go.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And it's not like Struble was great. That pairing played less than 5 minutes at 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Like they didn't play a ton. And Jay, I think the same thing about Carrier. People complain, oh, Carrier's really had an off, he's taken a step back this year. Last year he played with Mike Matheson, and that pairing was very good. And this year he's played with whoever the Canadiens think is their sixth best defenseman in that given moment, and it's gone less good. It shouldn't be. I mean, people oftentimes, I don't know if they love missing that context. I know a lot of people love to use Alex Carrier to they love to dunk on him to try to prop up Arbor Xhekaj. And I hate to tell you this, but like Carrier and Xhekaj always play together. Like it's not like they're never apart from one another. If Xhekaj's playing, it's with Carrier. Yeah. So like you can't be like, well, Carrier, he wouldn't have done that if Xhekaj was there. He often is, like because of the situation that they find themselves in.
Yes, absolutely. I'm in full agreement there.
All right, let's move on here. This one comes to us on Blue Sky from Plastic War Dollies. Really love that name. If you're the management team, what's your goalie depth chart? Let's just look at the NHL, AHL goaltenders right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how are you lining these up? Who's 1 through 4?
I think I know it's premature. I think it's Jakub Dobes for now. Then
I don't
Jakub
think that's
Fowler.
premature at all.
Yeah. Then Jakub Fowler. Then Sam Montembeault. Then I always call him Capo Kakinen, even though he's not Capo Kakinen. Kakkonen, exactly.
Yeah.
I just keep mixing him up with the forward.
Yeah. I'm in this. I think I have the same 4. And I think, quite honestly, the Canadiens right now have the same 4.
Yeah.
Like I calling up Fowler to start that game against Ottawa is one thing. Like I said on yesterday's episode, not even dressing Sam Montembeault to play backup. Woof. That starting him wasn't the message. Not dressing Montembeault was the message to me. Yeah. That they would rather, if push came to shove, they were going to play second half of a back-to-back Jakub Dobes coming in cold off the bench.
Yeah.
That's what they were cool doing. That's to me, it's Montembeault. It's never been more Montembeault than right now.
Yeah, and like what Marty said before the game was like, this is the result we need right now, right? Like he was like talking about something like, this is what we need to do to get the result. It was all about the word result, right? But then people kept pressing him, and he was like, I'm not answering 40 questions about the goaltending. You've already had 5 or 6. Let's move on. Like
Yeah,
literally, like he was so testy.
he got a little testy about it. And honestly, fine. I think that's
I love
fair.
Marty.
Yeah. Again, though, like it goes back to when Caufield didn't play in the third period against Toronto, and we're watching the post-game press conference, and none of the first 5 questions are what happened to your leading goal scorer. And Arvin Bosco has to step in and be like, hey, like literally the 5th or 6th question would be like, hey, what happened to Cole? Is he okay? Like I found these guys have jobs to do. I'm definitely not dunking on them for it, but a lot of times it feels like they go in with the narrative in mind and they're not actually there to ask any reasonable questions. Anyway, we'll leave that there. When we come back, there's more mailbag questions, including on a scale of 1 to 10, where does Josh Anderson rank on the annoying to play against meter? And we'll get into that in just a minute here on Locked On Canadiens. College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any college hoops parlay you want, rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits. Yeah, you can then mix spreads, totals, and player props to match how you see the slate playing out. Then you can apply the profit boost and instantly bump up the potential payout. Go safe, go bold, ride with the team you've been following all season, whatever you want. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. Welcome back. If you've been thinking about joining the Everyday Club, now is the time. Again, you get ad-free shows, access to our group chat on Discord, and if you're signed up before the NCAA tournament tips off, you can get into our Everyday Club bracket pool on Discord for a chance to win Locked On merch. Should be a lot of fun. Right now, you can use the code MARCH, M-A-R-C-H, to get your first month free. Head to lockedoncanadiens.supercast.com or tap the link in the show notes. All right, let's move on to our pal Brent, who asks, hi, Laura and Ian. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being Lady Bing and 10 being Claude Lemieux, where does Josh Anderson rank on the annoying to play against meter? Do you think Anderson is more effective when he's stirring things up on every shift, or does he get carried away? Final question, where do you two rank on the Lady Bing to Chris Chelios, not Chris Chelios, to Claude Lemieux scale? I'd like to think I'm a 1, but I'm probably a 3. Let's tackle the first one first. Josh Anderson.
Okay. Yes.
Where is he on that 1 to 10? With 1 being the nicest dude all the time, no penalty
Not even
minutes. He couldn't even. He's not a 1 on many scales. Like we know he's a handsome man. But like
he's also nowhere near Claude Lemieux. I'm sorry.
Correct. Like Claude Lemieux is like Rafi Torres level. Like that's a different breed of dude.
It's like if Matthew Tkachuk was effective.
Oh, wow. Those are fighting words. Remember at the Winter Classic this year when Tkachuk and Barkov were hurt and they trotted out there in the Magnum PI suits and they just carried the cup around and now they're going to miss the playoffs. Just remembering it for no reason. Anyway, I think Josh Anderson is comfortably like a 6 on this scale.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely more annoying than the average person in this league, maybe even a 7.
Yeah. He's less than Brad Marchand, right?
Yeah, Marchand's about an 8 or a 9. Like he's up there.
Yeah. So who in your mind is the most annoying NHL player to play against? Currently playing.
Most annoying to play against.
Because I do still think it is Brad Marchand, but he's aging out.
Yeah. I think there are certain players who think it's them and it's not. Like, I think if you asked Matt Rempe, he'd be like, well, it's me.
Yeah. He's got a bit of main character syndrome. Like he's
maybe Wilson's in that category. Maybe Tom Wilson. Maybe Radko Gudas. Like Radko's still got it, man. I hate that guy a lot. It's Nick Cousins. Actually, I've changed my mind. That's the most annoying player to play against, to look at, to think about, to remember they exist. Like I just like a world without that player would be excellent.
Yes, I agree.
Do you think Anderson is more effective when he is stirring things up on every shift, or does he get carried away?
I think there's a limit, and I think sometimes he skirts it, right? Because he is effective when he stirs things up, especially against the kind of player that does get riled up easily. I love that. He's able to do that. But once in a while, he goes a little step too far, and he forgets that for whatever reason, all of the officials are always staring at him. It might be because he's handsome. I don't know.
True.
But he has never done a single thing that he hasn't gotten caught for, or he sometimes even gets caught for things other people do. Like someone else trips someone and he's in the vicinity and he gets sent to the box.
Yeah. No, I don't know how Josh Anderson thinks he was going to get away with cross-checking Kiefer Sherwood in the mouth.
I mean, that's different because he actually did that.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like that when he goes over that line, like he thinks like he is trying to play the emotional game that he's always played. And when he does that instead, like, well, that's not good. Like, so it's a balance for all of these players who play that type of way. It also helps that like Brad Marchand is just really liked by the officials.
Yes.
He's really liked by the people in this league.
Yeah.
Not to say Josh Anderson is disliked, but he hasn't earned the reputation that Brad Marchand has earned.
Yes.
You can argue whether or not he's actually earned any of that, throughout his career.
I think the one last thing I'll ask you about Josh Anderson is that when the Canadiens traded for him / signed him, whatever, trade and sign, did you expect this from him?
I didn't know what to expect from Josh Anderson when they acquired him. I remember thinking, well, we took Alex Galchenyuk, traded him for Max Domi, and 2 years later flipped Max Domi for a former third-round pick who thinks he's worth a lot of money when he hasn't really done much and he's really hurt all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that this was just, Bergevin trading down all the time. You can argue about whether or not that's true. But I think he had to reinvent himself because he thought he was intended to be a top 6 forward on this team. And then he was very much not that. And credit to him and the Canadiens for working together and finding a role for him. Like that, I keep harping on how that fourth line is played. They've been very good.
Yeah.
So I think, he's been able to carve that out. When he's playing north-south and he's putting guys into the boards, he's incredibly effective. It's when he gets, tossed into the extracurriculars. It's always after the whistle stuff, or he follows a check too late, like he did against Ottawa, and he finishes up high. Like that's when he gets into trouble.
Yeah. But I will say one thing. I absolutely love Josh Anderson on this team. I love him. Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, if you love Josh Anderson, we're giving away a signed photo of Josh Anderson. When we hit 5,000, when we hit 4,500 YouTube subscribers, we were going to give away this signed photo of Josh Anderson. But that person that won it didn't claim it. So now we're packaging that with the Arbor Jack signed photo that we promised when we hit 5,000 subscribers. We'll give those both away when we get to that point. All you need to do is in the comments section below our YouTube video. First of all, you need to be subscribed to us on YouTube. It's the only way you'll be qualified for this. And then in the comments on YouTube, write contest entry. We're marking them all down. When we hit 4,500 subscribers or 5,000 subscribers, we will give away both pictures to one lucky winner. Last I checked, we were like 75 subscribers away. We might have picked some more up in that time. So
we're getting close.
Tell your friends to subscribe if you're getting antsy and you want to see who wins this thing. I want to see who I have to send these things to. So, you got to subscribe on YouTube and let us know that you want to be entered into the contest through the comments field. All right. The last question here from Brent was, where do you two rank on the Lady Byng to Claude Lemieux scale? I'd like to think I'm a 1, but I'm probably a 3. Where do you think you are on this scale, Laura?
It depends on if we're talking about life or work. In my professional life, I'm a 1.
Good.
In real life, I'm maybe like a 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'd like to think I used to be pretty angry all the time. I think I've kind of mellowed out as I've gotten older. If I'm at the grocery store, I'm a Brad Marchand level, get out of my way. The people at the grocery store, man, I can't handle the grocery store. I'm not mentally strong enough to be able to walk in there and just deal with a lot of people who are just like walking around looking at nothing. Like I just can't, like that's when I'm like, okay, I'm actually gonna bring a hockey stick with me next time and kneecap someone. Yeah, like you, I'm not a big fan of career limiting moves at work. I'm the nicest guy you've ever met. I try to be really nice to everybody. And I think that stuff comes back to you.
Yeah. I'm Nick Suzuki at work.
Yeah. Lane Hudson at work. Arbor Jacques at the grocery store.
Yeah.
That's how I go about it. All right, we'll leave that there. When we come back, we'll wrap up our mailbag, and we'll give you our predictions for who wins this year's Jacques Beauchamp Trophy for the Canadiens' best player who didn't win any awards, which is essentially what that trophy is. And we'll get into that in just a minute here on Locked On Canadiens. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for: skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing the candidates who check all those boxes with less stress, less time, and more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. All right, let's wrap up the week here, Laura. What a week for your Montreal Canadiens, by the way. There's still games to go, but beating Toronto and Ottawa back-to-back, pretty much satisfied.
Pretty delicious, yeah.
Pretty fantastic. It's not a 4 out of 6 week because there's 8 points available. You'd hope that they pick up 6 out of 8.
Yeah.
But those 4, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's get to our one of the better questions one of my favorite questions that we've got, which is the early pick for the Jacques Beauchamp. That comes to us from Amelia Pond. Thank you, Amelia. It's always lovely hearing from you. This is a trophy that I don't really think about until they hand it out on the final game of the year. It's not really something that we think about often. I just want to the Jacques Beauchamp Award is, and let me find the language here. Why did I lose it? Of course I lost it.
It's one of those Fridays.
Yeah, it definitely. It's one of those trophies that is given to the Canadiens player who played a dominant role during the regular season without obtaining any particular honor. Last year, the player we just talked about, Josh Anderson, won it, and then the 2 years before that were David Savard winning back-to-back dominant performances in the Jacques Beauchamp category. Who's your pick this year, Laura? Knowing Mike what we know so far. I also had Mike Matheson, Laura. Explain why.
Mike Matheson is not going to he's not going to be sung. He's going to remain unsung. But he has had a phenomenal year, just doing almost everything right. We've had very few bad games from Mike Matheson, and we know that as the Mike Matheson night goes, so does the rest of the team's night. It's getting less and less pronounced, obviously, with a supporting cast like Noah Dobson and Lane Hudson. I mean, they're not supporting, but you know what I mean, right? He has been just so good at keeping the puck out of the net, which is incredible because that was listed as one of his weaknesses for the longest time, right? And he's also contributed offensively. He's got points. He's done such a good job. Every situation you find him in, it feels like he's making the right decisions. It's very rare that he makes mistakes. And I just think that if it's not for Mike Matheson, the Canadiens have lost quite a few points in the standings.
Yeah. I think that's right. And I almost wonder if this is a not lifetime achievement, but Habs time achievement award for Mike Matheson, because he came in with one role. You're the number one defenseman. You play power play. We need you to do everything.
Yeah.
And then this guy named Lane Hudson comes along and takes his power play away from him. And he could sit there and sulk, but he doesn't. And he learns to play a different role on this team. And then some other guy named Noah Dobson comes along and takes away his second power play wave minutes. And he doesn't sulk. and he puts together, again, another really stellar campaign for the Montreal Canadiens. I just think this is, and then he signs an extension to stay in Montreal at a rate that we would all say is a complete bargain. And he could have gone to free agency this year and signed for a boatload of money, and he didn't do it. He wanted to stay here. To me, that's the guy.
Yeah.
It's not particularly close either in my estimation, but I mean, we'll see who ends up winning it. Alex Carrier, for what it's worth, could also win it, and I'd be pretty essentially playing the Savard role, if we're being honest.
Or like they haven't been here long enough, but somebody like, Kirby Dach missed a lot of games, but Kirby Dach could be a candidate. And Philippe Danault can be a candidate. But if you look at and when I say that, I mean, if you prorate their work, right? But I think with Mike Matheson, it's just been so pronounced, and you're not once in a while, you'll see him as the third star. You'll see him get some sort of praise, but most of the time it's going unacknowledged.
Yeah. Except by us. We love the guy.
Yes.
We'll always acknowledge it. I still am thinking about that play against Toronto. I'm still thinking about it. I've been thinking about it nonstop. It's been that and the Fowler save on Giroux late in the game on Wednesday. Those are epic game. They're just epic gamer moments. Those were gamers who won in those moments. Quick one here from Super Rain Mailbag. Can Laine play in the playoffs, or is the cap still in play? This is where I have to apologize. So I said that the Canadiens don't have the cap space. They do. He's on IR, not LTIR. So they can activate him from IR at any point. I don't really know why they haven't. He's been practicing. I believe he's healthy. They just don't have a place for him to play.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious why, when Caufield was out, why not throw him in there and see what happens? Play him on the power play instead of maybe putting Kirby Dach there for some reason. I don't know.
Because Texas could have played more minutes, I think.
It's true. But yes, Laine can come back. The cap is still in play, but the Canadiens are under it. And they're the only thing, the roster limit goes away. So they can exceed what used to be the 23-man roster. There is no more roster limit. They can carry as many players as they need to. Let's go to Jacques Face Punch. Let's tackle this one. Which team do we want to face in the playoffs? Tampa and Buffalo look as playoff ready as rosters can be, and I fear we are just too soft. Also, which team will we face? Out of all of the teams that are going to make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference, who do you want to play?
I don't care.
Barf.
Here's the thing. The Montreal Canadiens are ahead in their rebuild, and we know that they're not winning the Stanley Cup this year, right? I would rather they play an extremely tough opponent, because let's be honest, the opponent that they played last year while being physically tough was still a paper tiger. And I don't think that they got enough lessons about truly what it takes to win and how to sacrifice from that team. So yes, it is more likely that they will lose in the first round if they play a team like Tampa or Carolina, but it is more likely that they will accumulate maturity and experience that will be valuable to them in their contending window. So while I would prefer to have a longer playoff run because that's more fun, and ideally who I would want to face is, if they're still there, Detroit, because look at what's going on there, right? Like a Detroit, the Islanders would be fun because I feel like it's a bit evenly matched. The Pittsburgh Penguins, the Canadiens match up really well against them, but like the way that it's going to shake out, it's probably going to be a team like Tampa or Buffalo.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, it's really, I know it's tough to say this, but it is too early to tell which of those teams will be in the, is Buffalo peaking now?
Yeah.
Where are they in 15 games? Are they kind of brought back down to earth? Tampa is on the way down right now, but they're also not particularly healthy right now. Do they pull that back together? So I right now, I think I'd rather play Tampa, just given that, the two most likely are Buffalo and Tampa. I'd rather play Tampa, but if Tampa keeps falling out and maybe Detroit gets hot again and Montreal, Detroit, I'd much rather have that. I think Montreal could take Detroit.
Yeah.
Couple final questions here. This one from our pal Randy Hansen. With a missed start due to illness, Caufield has his 220-plus game Ironman streak broken. Can we take a minute to marvel at his durability despite being fun-sized? It is kind of crazy how healthy he's been in his career.
Yeah.
He had that shoulder issue that,
shut him
everyone's
down.
They shut him down after that. And they were like, oh, he's going to be out for a long time. And
and he's broken.
He's not going to be the same when he comes back.
Yeah. It turns out he was better.
Yeah. He took, it did take a little bit. He had an on-ramp, right? But he did end up getting back to it. But yeah, I think the thing about Caufield is And I think about this a lot from last year's playoffs when he got popped by Ovechkin. And that highlight was everywhere. And it was, oh, wow, look at Caufield get hit here. Look at Ovechkin. And I think for Canadiens fans, why that was so stunning is because Caufield doesn't get hit like that.
No.
He doesn't get caught with his head down. In fact, he didn't really get caught with his head down there. Ovechkin was running around like a madman in that series because in the playoffs, you can do that.
Yes.
I think
it would be funny if it wasn't the Canadiens.
Right. And I think that was part of the playoff school, right? I think of that first shift, the first 5 minutes against Washington, right? Where Goalie gets just trucked behind the net by Wilson, completely clean, but trucked.
Yeah.
And they all kind of had to be like, oh, this is a different thing. We're not used to this at all.
Yeah.
So
see why
Caufield taking that hit was kind of like that to me.
Yeah. And that's the thing, he's like, you always talk about Lane Hudson, he's always been small. He didn't just magically get smaller when he made the NHL. And it's the same thing with Cole Caufield. He's always been small. He's always had to play like that. He's always had to do that. But that's also why, if they have to play a team like Tampa and lose to them in the first round, I'd rather that because that moment, they need that.
Mm-hmm.
They need that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Last question here. I lean on your expertise on this one, Laura. This comes to us from Danny Joe. What's the 3 best chocolate bars I have to try when I get to Montreal? 2 years ago, I had a coffee crisp, and I'm counting down the days until I get another.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how do you know what's good maple syrup to buy? Every shop has it, but I was unsure of what good one to get. Let's start with the chocolate one. Where are you at? If someone could pick 3 chocolate bars from Montreal, what are you telling them to walk away with?
Okay, so I know that Danny Joe's coming from the UK because it's a bit tough because the UK chocolate is much better because they have more milk solids in them. I know this for a fact because I care about this kind of stuff. But when you are here, Coffee Crisp is one of the big ones. And then we have so I know every country has Aero bars, but we have specialty flavors for the Aero bars, like Aero dessert, like Aero tiramisu and whatever. And they're really good. In fact, our good friend Scott always likes to grab those. And then I was trying to think of something else, and I think Smarties is the one because I know Smarties is not the same thing in the States, but in the States, what you call Smarties is what we in Canada call Rockets. I don't know what that is in the UK, but I just find that they're the milk to coating ratio is really, really good. And I don't think there's an O. Henry. Do you guys have O. Henry? Yeah. There's another one that's similar to that, that is only Canadian. I can't remember what it's called, but I don't like it. Just stick with your pure Smarties and your Coffee Crisp and your, the maple syrup one is actually pretty easy. You just check the origin and make sure it's single origin and it is Quebec. The ones in the cans are the most popular. But then it's honestly, you're not going to go wrong if you make sure that it's single origin and it's from Quebec. Vermont is really good too, but if you're coming all the way here, you should take our syrup.
Yeah, and you don't have to come down here.
Yeah.
For me, I love the mint chocolate Aero bar is fun.
Yes,
I just
good.
the color of it is just really fascinating to me. The outside just looks like chocolate, then the inside is this violent green.
Do you guys not have that in the US?
In the international foods aisle in a grocery store that I go to with my elbows up like Arbor Jacques, I can find that chocolate bar there. Yes. When I went to Montreal earlier in November, I asked my family, "Do you want me to bring anything for you?" My sister said Smarties. She loves Smarties, so I brought Smarties home for her. And my dad, of course, said maple spread, which I know isn't maple syrup. I think it's just maple syrup that they whip and make it a little extra thick. There's air whipped into it, and you spread it on toast. It's fantastic.
It's like creamed honey, but maple syrup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you find that, that's worth doing as well. Good luck getting all of this stuff back through any kind of airline security. I don't know how that's going to work out. Best of luck to you, Danny Joe. All right, let's hit our trivia questions and head out of here. Yesterday's question: 10 of Demidov's 14 goals have come on the road. Who has the most road goals in a season in Habs history, and how many was it? Laura, who did this, and how many was it?
It was Guy Lafleur, and I believe it was 31.
It was Guy Lafleur. It was 33 in 76-77. For what it's worth, he also has second and third place with 25. So, and then after that is Cole Caufield in fourth with 24 road goals in 24-25. Valkyrie and Super Rain nailing the correct answer on that one. All right. Today's question: in honor of the Saku Koivu Bowl taking place on Sunday at the Bell Center. March 14th is Saturday. On March 14th, 2001, the Habs and Ducks legend Saku Koivu grabbed 3 assists in a 6-3 win over the Carolina Hurricanes. He was not the only Hab to have 3 points in that game. Who joined him? So against the Carolina Hurricanes in 2001, on March 14th, Saku Koivu had 3 assists in a 6-3 win. He was not the only player with 3 points in that game. Who joined him? If you have the answer, put in the comments down below this video. Let us know any way you know how, and we'll give you a shout out on the next episode of the show. And that is going to do it for us today and this week on Locked On Canadiens. Thank you for subscribing, for tuning in, making us your first listen of the day. Remember to join our YouTube subscriber contest. I'm not going to reiterate it. We already did it before, but join. You can have a chance to win those 2 signed photos of Montreal Canadiens. If you never miss an episode, every day our club is built for you. Get Locked On Canadiens ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to lockedoncanadiens.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we send you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure your second listen is NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL. You can find the show everywhere. We're posting things, Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok. We post a lot of shorts, especially on TikTok and Instagram, so go check us out there. We'll have game reactions up after the games as well, so go check us out in those places. LockedOnCanadiens@gmail.com is the best way to get in contact with us. Send us your mailbag questions. Send us your, here's what I'm thinking about the Canadiens. We love to get all of your trade proposals or off-season ideas or line combos. We love to hear from you guys. So reach out to us. We'd love to hear you. You can find me on the internet as Maybe It's Ian. You can find Laura at The Actor Stick. Thanks so much for listening. Enjoy the games this weekend. Laura, enjoy being a Roberts brother. And we will see you all back here on Monday.